Hello and welcome to Hero Wars Info. My name is Ryan. Today we're going to be going over 5 tips and tricks for new players who are just starting Hero Wars to think about and make sure that you know so that you can get to be the best team that you possibly can within the game. Now, if you like videos like this, go ahead, please like and subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss any game updates or content that I come up with that is similar. So, let's get into this. So, as new players, Hero Wars is a pretty complex game. You can kind of think of it as a little bit of a chess match whenever we're talking about heroes. Some heroes are going to be beating other heroes, but then can be countered by others. So, you really have to be very strategic. And what I want to do for any new player is I want to make sure that you can be as strategic as possible and that you can get a leg up on the competition. The way that you do that is by being efficient and being smart. I think anyone, whether you do a little bit of spending within the game or are a free-to-play player, have a chance to be a top player on your server if you just follow a few simple rules and you try to outthink your opponents and really spend wisely. So first, kind of the first point that I want to go with for Hero Wars, this game is a marathon, is not a sprint. Do not just quickly try to get to level 130. That's not the goal. Do not quickly just try to beat the campaign. That is not the goal. Those things are nice, but they're not going to help you win long term. Long term, you need to be thinking about what are the resources that I need? What are the heroes that I should be leveling? What should I be focusing on? What events are upcoming that are going to help me? Etc., etc. So please, please, please don't just try to get to stuff done quickly. I've been playing for 2.5 years, and I think there's close to 60, maybe a little bit over 60 heroes now in the game, and I have only 20 of them maxed. But with these 20 heroes that I have, I can pretty much guarantee to beat any other team that is out there. So you have to be strategic about the heroes that you pick and which ones you really want to level up. And don't try to go too fast. Like you can be methodical about making sure that you're making the right moves. So just be careful and don't just try to quickly get to a certain point because there's always going to be something beyond. Number 2, this is probably the most important point. This game is about resource management. What do I mean by that? You get resources daily with your daily quests. However, you should not be spending those resources every single day. The only time you should be spending any resource is if there is an event that helps you get additional resources for it. If you're not aware, there is a page called Hero Wars Guide that shows the schedule of upcoming events. If you're new to the game, events are different types of in-game events that will help you, that you really have to do some type of activity for to get different rewards. So for example, right now we have 5 different events going on. Let's take, for example, the Great Storm. You can see here there's a spend energy, use pet summoning a certain amount of time, spend emeralds, buy emeralds, etc., etc. Now, the one for this one that's important is the pet summoning, right? Like, energy can be spent on most other events and you'll be okay, but there's only a few times where pet summoning is asked for. So if you're going to use pet summoning X 80 times, if you're going to summon 80 times, make sure you're saving those pet summoning eggs until it requires you to do something. That way you get additional rewards to make your team stronger. Now, one of the hardest things to do as a new player is to save your resources. Because you're so tempted to grow your team and try to get as strong as possible so that you can continue advance. Don't be that guy. Make sure that you are saving your resources so that when an event comes, you'll be able to get even more rewards and start to overpass the players that might have started earlier or might even be spending money if you're not. Next up, find a team of 5 and focus only on upgrading them. I have seen it so many times where people who start the game are trying to upgrade multiple heroes. Don't do that. Find a good team of 5, and we'll talk about which teams you can be thinking about on later videos, but find a team of 5 that has good chemistry and just try to only upgrade them. If you can, it's good to find a team that also has different specific like intelligence, strength, or agility attributes. The reason that can be nice is because then they will require different resources as well as different items. So every item that you collect will help. So that's always, if you try to focus and level up a ton of heroes, you're going to end up with just a lot of bad heroes, and you're not going to be able to keep on moving through the ranks. For me, whenever I started with Aurora, I started with Nebula, Jew, Celeste, and I believe it was Yasmin. Now, that's not a really good team, but I was new, so I didn't really know what I was doing. But it did, because I upgraded them, it did well enough to kind of keep me a little bit competitive, and I was able to keep on growing from there. So find a team of 5 that you like, keep on upgrading them, focus only on them. Don't worry about the other heroes, those will come along later. Step number 4, if you do spend any money, make sure you're spending on good deals. A lot of this stuff over here is the stuff that you can be spending real life money on, and almost every single one of these is a terrible deal. There are only 3 or 4 that I would consider actually spending money on, and I'll go ahead and go over those right now. Number 1, by far the cheapest and the most cost-effective right here is Valkyrie's Favor. What this does is it gives you some of these artifact coins each week, but the big thing it does is give you faster combat times 5. Especially as a new player, you are going to be spending a ton of time if you don't have raids, or even if you do have raids and other battles, having to go through at 1 times speed. So the times 5 speed is super essential to getting stuff done faster. The time that is saved by using the times 5 is going to be significantly more than the price tag of using it. Like you'll be saving hours on that just for paying, I think it's $2 a week. So if you are going to spend on anything, spend it on this. You also get additional expeditions, which is nice to give you more artifact resources. Number 2, if you're going to be spending a little bit more, what you want to be doing is probably buying different seasons that come out. So you can see here, Nature Season. They always have a very good reward at the very end, and in terms of buying, you can see the total reward value, 270,000 emerald value for the $35 if you're in a ticket chain, is a pretty good value. Now, I don't buy every single season. There are some that I focus on, some that I don't really care for, but especially as a new player, every resource is going to be helping. So if you're planning on spending a little bit money, this is always a decent selection. The other time that is usually probably the most solid is whenever a new hero comes out. They'll usually offer different golden tickets for that event, and that's a fantastic event if you are going to spend money to utilize, because not only do you get additional resources, but you also will help you grow that hero a little bit faster by either getting a skin, potentially some soul stones, and it will also help you go further in the leveling, which helps you get even better rewards. Like for this past time, it was the Red Gift of Dominion on level 6, and then a Totem on level 7. That's going to really help you speed up because those are hard resources to get. So that's going to really help speed up your teams to make you competitive. Now lastly, and this is also very important, make sure you're always planning for the long term and not the short term. So what do I mean by that? Try to use your resources, your time, your money for the things that are the most important in the game that are going to take a long time to get. And I'll give you some examples. At the very beginning of the game, these experience potions are very valuable, but at the same time, you will not need them very, very much in the future. So don't spend, if there is a shop, do not spend shop resources on experience potions. Do not spend shop experience or shop stuff on the Hero Soulstone chests. unless you're like super beginning to play and you really need a specific hero. Otherwise, use it on things that are going to take even longer to get done. Some of those are ascension materials. Some of these, like especially for spending emeralds that you have, I would recommend the right here on the totems and leveling these up, because getting these resources requires you to either be in a very good guild, and if you're a new player, you're probably not going to be in a great guild at the beginning, or it will require you to spend emeralds to actually get, which is the fastest way to move those up. And it will take you forever. Even if you're in a good guild, it's still going to take you forever to get a totem to level 130. So using emeralds on this point helps speed that up. Another example is right here in Asgard with the Tree of Wisdom, specifically these Eternal Seeds. I did the math a while back to max out all of these trees, which help you get different, not really talents, but different attributes to different heroes. Like all of the health, physical attack, magic attack, all of those would get applied if I upgraded here. This is going to take close to 6 years, and that's if you're beating the level 160 each week, once or twice. Like, that is an incredibly long time. So, if you're going to spend resources, try to lower that time frame. If you can move it from 6 years to 3 years, that's going to be a massive help and get you stronger a lot faster. Now, I'll be happy to create other videos to get into that a little bit more. But those are just 5 ways that, as whenever you're starting Hero Wars, that you can start to be thinking about, how can I be more efficient than other people so that I can get better than them and I can start to beat them and I can continue to move forward in the game. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead, put them down in the comments below. And thanks so much for watching.